Hi Cancer, I just want to say a big thank you for all of your support, all of your comments, all of your well wishes, all of your kind messages and stuff over the course of this last couple of days. It's really been so lovely to have, and I really do feel very loved and very supported, so thank you so much for that. This is your weekly tarot scope with me, Raphael, from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. As always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So, for your weekly tarot, for your weekly key to the week from your March reading, you have the Death card. And I'm using this deck for the first 4 signs. I absolutely love this deck. It's just so raw, so open, so vulnerable, but it's also very telling in its imagery, right? So, before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So my lunar brothers and sisters, the Death card. Change and transformation. Now, you've heard me say this before many times, I'm sure, especially if you're one of my hardcore ride or dies. In your lesson is where you find your blessing. Now, if you look at this card, right, the Death card, the figure of death there is holding a newborn baby in its arms. That is the process of transformation. We come in as babies and we go through the process of that slow earth walk into decay. We pass out of life and then we are reborn in some way, shape or form. Whether that's as a spirit, whether it's as a soul, whether it's as an ascended master, whether it's as another human life, an animal, a tree, whatever it is that you perceive we go on to be. But I believe we pass through many incarnations before we finally ascend and rejoin the one source, so to speak. And the eyes here, right, when you look at those, what they represent is the different faces, the different ways of being known by the world, to the world, and by the divine, right? There's many different faces of God, I think, as the saying goes, right? And for me personally, the Death card, yes, it's, it can be about death, but it's very rarely, because there are specific cards that need to attend it. And the fact that you have this as your weekly general overview, the fact that you have this as your key to the week means that this week there is an innate understanding that something must transform, something needs to come to an end, or something needs to evolve. Whenever you see the Death card, this is a moment, it's a point of decision. There is a decision that is presented to you when the Death card shows up, and it basically says to you, you know that this needs to end. What are you going to do with that decision? Because the decision is yours. Nothing or no one can ever make any of your choices, which is why it's always funny to me when people say like, oh, look what you made me do. It's like, no, you make your own decision. Nobody made you do anything. And don't get me wrong, sometimes circumstances can seem impossible, and it's like, well, I was damned if I did and screwed if I didn't. And it may very well feel that way. Sometimes we are presented with what feels like an impossible choice, but the decision and the choice ultimately always lies with us. So this week you're being asked to choose in some way, shape or form, Cancer. What is it that you are going to do? What is it that you now know that you are supposed to let go of or to release? For your actions and your path ahead, you have the Star card, right? Beautiful card. I mean, I love the Star card, probably because I'm an Aquarian sun, and it does have that Aquarius feel to it. But as an actions and a path ahead, this is basically you aligning yourself with not only your highest goals and visions, but this week you're going to be seeking out the people that can actually help you with those things. This is about you saying, you know what, who is it that I need by my side? What is the group that I need to connect to? This could, for some of you, on a really basic level, because as you know, sometimes tarot gets really freaking literal, right? This could be you saying, I'm going on a social media break, or I'm cutting out social media, or I'm not going to watch the news. I'm not going to, the death of the Star card, right? Or the death of technology in some way, shape or form. This could be you saying, you know what, I'm going on a social media cleanse. Raph, I love you, but you know what, I'm not going to watch your readings for a good month or so to give myself a break. If that's what you're doing and that's what you feel you need to do, then honey boo boo, you do what you need to do, right? But this, you know, on a really literal level, it could just mean that. On sorry about that, Cancer. Yeah, so this, you know, that could, it could be that. But this is about your action, so it's what you're doing, it's how you show up in the world. This could also be you saying, you know what, I want to provide something more of a cohesive experience or a supportive experience. Either way, there's something to do with groups, people, and also making your own luck this week. That's going to be really, really evident or powerful for you. So look at this, you've got the death card twice. Death right next to death, and this is in your communications and conversations. So this week, it does look like you're going to be faced with a big decision this week, Cancer. It does look like you're going to be asked in some way, shape or form to make a big decision, to make a big choice, to choose a path forward. And like I said, you know, this may be, it may very well be that you feel sort of damned if you do and damned if you don't, but the decision still has to be made, is kind of the message that's coming through. So when it comes to your communications and conversations this week, just consider that you need to take your time with everything. For some of you, on a really sort of mundane level, you might have to consider that this may very well be news of a death. You know, this might be news of, and it could be a friend, it could be an extended family member, it could be somebody at a distance from you. I don't get the sense that this is close. I just get the sense that it is sort of in the midst, if it's, you know, if that's what it is representing for you. But it does look like there's a big decision for you to make this week, and you are going to be asked to make it. You know, so come what may, just be prepared for that. For your money and materials, you have the Knight of Cups, which is gorgeous, right? There's an offer or an opportunity this week that comes to you when it comes to money, when it comes to making more money. For some of you, this might take you away from your current job. It may be something that replaces a current job, but it does look like you will have to make what looks like a tough decision. And it looks like you won't necessarily have a lot of time to make this decision. It looks like you're probably just going to be kind of in a place where someone says to you, look, you know what, we'd like to offer you this, but it has to be sort of, you know, are you coming or are you not? Are you doing it or are you not? There's not going to be time for you to dilly-dally or to dawdle. And the interesting part about this, the feeling that I get from it, is it's something that you may very well have wanted for a long time. You know, remember the star card is 17 to 21 years. So this could be something, you know, from a long time ago, finally getting a chance, or finally getting a redo or a go over. Whatever it is though, especially when it comes to a professional level sort of offer or opportunity, it does feel to me like this is a lot to do with your, what's the word? A lot to do with your, you know, with an opportunity, with something that's being offered to you or something that's being suggested to you, and you'll have kind of just a short sort of space or a short time to make your mind up about it. And then you have, for your love and relations, you've got the Ace of Wands, right, which is beautiful. New beginnings, new opportunities, new starts, fresh starts, passion, vibrancy, life, love. Now, it could be, for those of you that are single, you're meeting a Scorpio, or you're connecting with a Scorpio in some way, shape or form. This could be somebody that is very quiet and reserved, but highly sexed once you get to know them. You know, just to, let's call a spade a spade. It is the Ace of Wands, right? Which is all about that sort of physical, tangible pleasures. It falls right on top of the Death card, which is Scorpio ruled, right? The taboo, the desire. So for those of you that are single, you could be connecting with a Scorpio this week, and this person could be, you know, a gentleman or a lady in the streets and a complete freak in the sheets, as the saying goes. So that's really interesting. For those of you that are partnered, it looks like there's a new beginning in a relationship. Either that, or the relationship, you're kind of being presented with two options here. The relationship either needs to evolve, or it's going to perish. There's no in between this week. I'm sorry to say, there's no cards here that have that sort of walk the middle road energy. It's all very much kind of it's either on or it's off. It's either a go or it's not. You know, there's kind of no in between. When it comes to family members, when it comes to you know, familial ties, interesting, because you've got the Ace of Wands on top of that Death card, right, which is definitely some form of a new beginning. I'd be more worried if it was the Ace of Swords, because that obviously would spell out, you know, that there's going to be an end of something. If somebody has been sick this week, you will hear that they are on the mend. But I will say this, they have a long road to go. They are only just starting their healing journey, whatever that means to you. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Thank you so much for being here. Take care. Have an amazing week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you. Bye.